Well, hello everyone, welcome to the semifinals of Division 1. We are in the championship playoff series for the championship at the top of Reddit League, and we have two of our semifinalists to bring you today. It is Boksa, our reigning champion, against newcomer Plouky, who was in Division 2 last season with you, Clanny. Definitely going to be happy to find
hmm
himself here. But how are you doing? And looking forward to this one?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. And yeah, it's an interesting game. I mean, Plouky was kind of the one person who snuck in there into the top four, since essentially his gap to third was bigger than his gap to 10th. But he did make it in there with a good performance on the last game day, just about sneaking in there. I think he was never at any point in the top four before the last game day. Not entirely sure about the start of the season anymore, but at least if I remember correctly. And just about made it in there, but he is in there. So essentially, at this point, everything's reset, and he has the same chance of winning as everyone else in the top four. Well, in theory. And looking at their stats, I think it is pretty clear who the favorite is here. Boxer, back-to-back finalist and reigning champion, as you said, and so far this season completely unbeaten, only had one draw in there. Very much luck of the draw as well, in that he had some very favorable matchups on the given maps, and well, he still had to bring home the scores, but if he had different matchups, he might not be 8-1-0, but like maybe 5-4-0 or something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe even 5-3-1, 6-2-1, something like that. He would have made top four either way. There's no question about that. But his stats look a bit better by the matchups he had. But even looking at the rest aces, he's got 10 more than Plouky, who is, I don't think he's like below average much in Division 1, but I also don't think, but let me quickly check that it's his aces are anywhere like near the top on that. And it's not bad. Yeah, I think he's about fifth or sixth in terms of aces. Um, so yeah, I think this will very much come down to if Plouky can get five great rounds together, because we all know Boxer will very likely get five rounds together, and if anything, if there's a round difficult enough for Boxer to not get, then we're probably looking at a pretty difficult task for Plouky as well. But it could be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be looking at any of these people not finding the general location. It's really going to come down to pinpointing, which means it's going to come down to maybe a few points. And yeah, I would say that if anybody fails to not find the area at least, it probably will be Plouky, just kind of looking at his past stats. Whatnot, that average score of over 1,000, just under 1,000 less, definitely shows you that consistency. Definitely be a bit tricky on this one. Yeah, so their map is the AI generated world. We've been using this to separate our finalists for a couple of seasons. It has been our tiebreaker as well as a playoff map for a couple years and has proven itself to be pretty tricky, Calamity. It doesn't give them the easiest locations for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting map. As I mentioned in the show, it's been changed slightly between last season and this season, where it's no longer actually AI generated, but handpicked in a way. Where I'm still not entirely sure how exactly it was handpicked. Like, I assume he just went through every single location, kind of went, is that a good location? Can I maybe change it slightly, maybe move it a bit over there, or something like that, rather than him just going through and picking entirely different locations. Um, but maybe he also, because he now mentions it's NMPZ friendly in at the top of his description. So maybe the only thing he changed for a lot of the location was just the angle that you get shown once
Mm.
you get thrown into it. But yeah, I've created a few maps now on it, and it's given me very interesting locations pretty much all the time. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, maybe a curated AI generated world is a better title for the map now, but nonetheless, it will give us a well balanced map across the entire world. We can see where we end up. Yeah, so without further ado, let us jump right into this great semifinal. See how these two do. Oh, I think the language, and I did spy a mosque in the background, should give it away as well. In
Yeah,
Turkey.
we are. And Turkey can be a bit interesting. There's a lot of areas, especially highways in Turkey, that aren't too difficult to find a general location because they're usually pretty well signed. And Plouky just saw a street sign, essentially, which mentioned Tuzla, which might be a town name. I'm not entirely sure though. Let's see.
Yeah, it's how
He for now
familiar are you
puts
with
us.
smaller Turkish towns? That's for
Yeah.
sure. It could be a tricky
I mean,
one, but
it doesn't
Ankara not
necessarily
too far
look.
away.
Yeah, it
Well,
doesn't necessarily look like such a small town. Um,
yeah, it looks like we've got Plouky looking to the outskirts of Istanbul. Flag right there. If you had any more questions about what country we're in.
yep, there on the blue thing that Box is currently looking at mentions Istanbul.
Mhm.
So they know they're somewhat close to it, but Istanbul is incredibly big
Mhm.
and not very easy to find your way, especially if you're not in like a city center or something like that. But as it looks here, kind of the outskirts, maybe a suburb.
Yeah, maybe their best bet is finding one of those suburb names,
Yeah, and
districts, and if they can.
Boxes just found it as well on that statue there. It mentioned Tuzla, Belediyesi. So both of them should know we're in Tuzla. But the question is, will they find where it is?
Yeah. Where is Tuzla in the city? And Boksa will at least systematically start in the west and work his way east, eliminating region by region. And looks like Plouky has always been focused on that eastern half of the city, the Asian part of Istanbul. And oh, there we go. He's got a district named Tuzla.
Yep.
So we know where it is. We'll see with 30 seconds if Boksa can find it. Another district name on that road as well, so we must be on the edge of it near a couple other areas, so the names change. And yeah, it looks like Plouky is honing in. I believe that was a street name as well. Now back to the start with only 10 seconds to pinpoint, and
Oh, Box has got it.
yeah, he's got it just in time. Time will expire for both of them, 4999 and an ace for Plouky. So not a bad first round, getting 1 point better than Boksa. And he really would have liked if that timer was about 10 seconds shorter because he
Mm-hmm.
hadn't quite pinpointed it, but he was there and Boksa got it just in the nick of time. But hey, every second counts, Calamity.
Yeah, Boxer essentially started at the complete other end of Istanbul and just about had enough time to make it to Tuzla in the end. Yeah, point lost could be decisive, but it does require Plouky to essentially 5k every other round too, but he actually has a chance now.
Yeah, taking one out of five is not a bad way to start at all. And we'll jump into round number two. See where we are. And
Not Turkey.
yeah, not Turkey, that's for sure. Africa.
Yeah,
Google
Ghana
card gives it
specifically.
away.
Yep.
The tape, right? On the
Yes.
forward portion of it, at least.
Yes, front right. I think
Oh, it's
there's
only the right side.
yeah, it's only the right side. I think there's something else that has tape on the left side, but or somewhere else on the car, but I can't actually quite remember where that place is exactly or what it is.
Both of them, a very simple sign, gives it
There
away
we go.
apparently quite nicely.
Yep.
At least for Boksa. He's familiar with that town outside of pretty major cities.
Yeah, I'm assuming like he would have recognized Bekwai there
Mm.
as a place that seemed to be what he was looking for specifically, and then he spotted the town that they just entered pretty quickly, which did have a town entrance sign, which is very nice. And you can see the town on Plouky's map now as well, right where his mouse is.
And that's probably why he doesn't see it. Because his
Yep.
mouse was over top of it. Yeah, just south of Kumasi. There we go. And that'll take Boxa no time at all to 5K that one. Directionality of that sign points to a town off to the side. Kokufu also was on that sign, so that helped triangulate quite well. And yeah,
Yeah,
just
didn't need that anymore, but yeah.
mhm. Just you head slightly west into town, follow a road. Simple. However, Plouky is going to spend the next minute or so trying to do some movement here, as he actually is going to leave town heading east.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to find anything.
I wouldn't count on it. He
Yeah.
doesn't know that though. He's going to do his due diligence, make sure he checks everything out. It's no sense to waste that
I'm
time.
not I'm not sure actually if
No.
I've ever seen like any good sign in Ghana outside of towns.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
don't think you get any great signs there. So you'd have to make it to the next town, and as rural as this looks, it would probably take quite a
Oh,
while.
there
And
we go.
now he
Finally
has
spots
spotted
it.
it. Yep.
Goes back to that sign to check. Can
It's
he
over to the
triangulate?
west.
Follow that road. There's the other town.
He must have either not seen the town entrance sign or forgotten about it by now,
Hmm.
because he did see the town that he's currently in on the map just there over to his
Yeah,
east.
he's not doing a bad judge of the road, at least in terms of the geography of it, but he's in the wrong town. It's got to match up a little bit different. It is causing him some concern, and he will just unfortunately run out of time and drop 20 points. And yeah, just missing that sign. Unfortunately, his small error cost him 20 points, while Boksa's little mistake starting at the wrong end of Istanbul only cost him 1. So advantage Boksa after 2.
Yep. Puts Plouky in an unfortunate position because 20 points isn't a lot lost, but it's usually more lost than Boxer would drop pinpointing or anything like that. So he now really requires a location that Boxer just cannot find at all to have a good chance of coming back.
Or just, 3 more perfect rounds and Boksa
True.
losing 5, 10 points here and there consistently would also give him the window. But I think it's more likely that there's one round that Boksa's kind of a good deal off than he's going to be wrong a couple of times. I would rather count on one mistake rather than a couple pinpoint errors. Boksa.
Mm.
But we will jump into round number 3. And good old US of A. So,
Yep.
US could definitely be a place where you can't find anything. Who knows?
Yep.
But
Certainly leaves a lot of room for that.
we are in a town. There are some license plates, and that will give it away. Blue on top, yellow on the bottom. Pretty good hint at Pennsylvania. There is a town name and the fire department. Probably too small to start looking for quite yet, but
Yeah, probably. Pennsylvania isn't the smallest state. We
there's
have had
some.
it in Reddit League in season 2.
There we go. There's an area code with 2 towns, Greensburg and something.
Yep, Greensburg definitely the bigger one that you could recognize, but I don't actually think either of them were in season 2.
No, I think Boxa started in season 3 and Plouky was in season 4. Maybe. Did he only start last season?
Let me quickly double check that.
I think he
Boxer
did come
definitely
in
started
season 2.
3. And yeah, Plouky only started in season 4.
Yep.
So yeah, both of them probably not quite as familiar with Pennsylvania.
But there we go. Collinsville, the 119 and the 70. Boxa, though, knowing his license plates, so that'll help.
Greensburg as well on the map.
Spot that. I don't think Boxa has seen a Greensville sign. He has seen the other town. I can't remember what the name was. Started with a C again.
Yep.
There we go. Not Crabtree. Has a different name. Different C.
Yeah. I think it was Carvin or Carvel or something like that.
Yeah. There's a cemetery, Westmoreland Cemetery. Those can be named after the town or district, so not a bad clue.
In the case of it being called Westmoreland, I don't imagine it being named after the town, though.
Perhaps. You never know. American town names.
Behind Pool City. Okay.
Plouky now coming up with only about 30 seconds left on an intersection. He has not seen those road numbers. There we go. Turnpike, Pennsylvania 66.
Yep.
There's a
If you
town
hadn't figured
entrance
out,
sign.
if you hadn't figured out we're in Pennsylvania, that would have been what would have entirely given it away.
Yeah. Plouky has yet to put anything on the map. He's only got 5 seconds left, so it's really just going to be a throwdown. He doesn't even have time to zoom in. And for a world click, that is not too bad. But Calamity, that was a chance to get some points. Boksa dropping 8, unable to pinpoint that one either. The state and even the area, pretty obvious from the signs and the clues, but pinpointing, yeah, just not quite enough time from either of them. And I think Plouky will have the Geoguessr gods to thank that his random pin was even that close to it. But that really makes it almost all but impossible to come back, unfortunately.
Yeah, that for sure. But you don't know how random his pin actually was. I'm sure he's meant to click in that part of the US.
Well, yes, but I mean, he could have lost another 1,000 points by just a few, little jiggles of the mouse because of how sensitive it can be. So, yeah, unfortunately for that one, both of them needed a bit more time to get, and we're not able to quite pick it up. So we will move on to round number 4, and it is a very big task for Plouky. There we go. For Plouky to come back on this one, and, well, language again gives it away for Plouky. Box is going to come up on a nice sign. That will give it away as well. Turkey again.
Yes. And this time on a highway.
And right away, Boksa looking to the more central south area of the country. Armand, there we go. That's a very nice clue. Pretty recognizable city.
Yep. Now it's just a matter of how far away are they from Karaman. There is a pretty fitting road to the east of it.
Nice big highway, seems to match up. Plouky was heading in the same direction, but for some reason he has not had at least I haven't caught him having a good glimpse of the same sign. Maybe he didn't go far enough? He turned around. Now I'm confused.
They're heading in opposite directions right now.
Well, now they are, yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like Boksa was committing to the right direction. Has seen better signs. And the movement issues definitely playing havoc with them on this one.
There's a gas station for Plouky, which can be pretty useful on highways like this, because it usually can give you at least sort of a good idea of a point that's close to you, because those are probably the most reliable things to show up.
What he can glean from that. The one, though, coming up on a minute left, there is another big overpass, another interstate. Another good thing to look for on the map.
I think Boksa went back to the start again or something and tried to maybe get a bit of a better grasp on where exactly he started. And there's the Truva Park that he's seen in front of him now on the map.
There we go.
So
there's Claramon for Plouky on a small sign, so that'll at least drop him in the right town. But unfortunately for him, he won't be making up too many points. Boksa's already pretty much got it. Maybe a point or two off. Nope. Exactly. Aced. And a lot closer than Raidman, as he points out on his map. Looks like Raidman there in his semifinal, focusing on that gas station. That's as close as he got with time. And Plouky, maybe, one season in Division 1. Oh, there it was. He needed to click, and he second-guessed himself, and that will cost him 10 more points. He saw something, looked like he wanted to double-check it, realized he had no time. and missed out. So the gap grows even larger, Calamity, as we head into our final rounds. Looks like we'll have Boksa returning to the final.
Yeah, well,
Unless we have a major shakeup in the final round.
it is still possible. I mean, the gap is sizable to the point where you can't just rely on a pinpointing error of sorts, but if there really is a round where, you know, Boxer just can't find it at all, then it is still very much possible.
Definitely. I mean, he could always just misclick, hit guess, and then be on the wrong side of the world and drop 4,000 points. So you never know. Lots of things could go wrong, and we will jump into round number 5. Boxa sitting at 19,991. Only 9 points dropped total. Plouky, though, of 19,455. A good gap there.
Yeah, and this is not the round you want to see when you know you're ahead coming into the last round.
Hard to move. Southeast Asia. Probably Indonesia. Be my worst nightmare. Yeah.
Yes.
That sign.
Kabupaten Kupang.
Yeah, that sign will quite a bit of information. One, it tells you Indonesia. Two, it gives you some districts and cities to try to find. So if Boksa manages to find it, that'll definitely seal the deal on this semifinal. And there is Kupang there just below him. Timor, yep, and he'll notice it. So unfortunate for Plouky. And no, sign not quite readable. To be fair, I think that Box has definitely done a better job, or perhaps we could just say got more lucky that he has found very nice signs. Plouky has just kind of gone the wrong way, wandered around a little bit too much. Oh, there's that sign for him. A minute and a half, that should be plenty of time if he hone in on Indonesia. Quite as familiar with the region, so it'll take him some time to search.
Actually, not the sign I found, which mentioned Kupang, which is interesting.
Mm.
So there were definitely at least 2.
Under a minute now left to go. Both of them looking to try to figure out where exactly outside of the city they are. Boksa knows where the town is in Indonesia. Plouky still looking. Oh, there we go. So again, it might come down to a few points here, pinpointing this one, but not going to be a 500 plus point swing.
Yeah, very unlikely, because even if, for example, that Kabupaten would be pretty large and if we would be in a completely different part of that island, there's no reason why you'd assume that Plouky and Boxer would go so far apart from each other that there'd be more than 500 points between the two. Although Plouky did go pretty far south right now with his guess.
Maybe taking a bit of a gamble. Boksa did play after Plouky, so he had been checking out some of the scores, and he will know he got an advantage. And there you go. Plouky starts the game with a win in round 1, finishes with a win in round 2, but unfortunately it is the 3 rounds in between. That will mean he drops out of this championship competition, and Boksa will return as a finalist for the 3rd season in a row, as we will bring up their final score. Just a second. Boxes skipped right through it pretty fast. 24,979 for Boksa. 24,444. Very nice number there for Plouky in this one. So yeah, Plouky, not a bad. I think we really saw maybe that 30-second difference between Division 1 and Division 2. Maybe a little bit too much in a high intensity final like this, Clem.
Yeah, and Plouky would have even lost if he had gotten the US round. I'm pretty sure even if he'd 5K'd it, because he dropped 20 points in round 2 and he made up 2 points essentially in rounds 1 and 5 combined and dropped another 10 in round 4. So it was doable, but in the end, yeah, just slightly too far off on rounds 2 and 4, and just couldn't find round 3 entirely, which means that Boksa is our first finalist.
Do you want to give away the results of the other semifinal matchup? I don't think we'll have a video for that one. You want to save it for the show?
Watch the show.
Yeah, watch the show. Go watch the show. Find out who the other semifinalists who will be facing Boksa will be. And yeah, congrats to Boksa. And that means we have a shot at having a back-to-back champion again this season. Raidman failed to do it last time. Let's see if Boksa can defend his title in the coming week in a best of 3. And we'll see you all in the final. We hopefully will be able to bring that to you. We'll catch you all next time. Take care.
Bye.